She texted me during my heart surgery prep. Can you calm down? It's not a big deal. Also, don't forget to send me money for my nails. I didn't reply. I just forwarded the message to his father. What he did next and what happened when he found out changed everything. I'm Danielle, 35, and I'd been dating Andrew for 2 years. We met at a mutual friend's party, and he was everything I thought I wanted. Handsome, outgoing, fun to be around. Looking back, I confused fun with only showing up when things are easy. But you don't see that clearly until you're being wheeled into surgery and your boyfriend is texting you about nail money. The heart issue started 3 months before the surgery. I'd been having chest pains, shortness of breath, the kind of symptoms you try to ignore because you're too young for heart problems, right? Wrong. My doctor ordered tests, found a valve defect that needed immediate surgical correction. Not life-threatening in the moment, but the kind of thing that becomes life-threatening if you ignore it. I told Andrew the night I got the diagnosis. We were at my apartment watching some reality show he liked. I muted the TV. I need to tell you something. I got my test results back. He looked up from his phone. I need heart surgery. There's a valve issue. They want to do it in 3 weeks. I expected concern, maybe shock, fear, something. Instead, he said, "Oh, that's scary, but they do those all the time now, right? Like, it's pretty routine." It's open heart surgery, Andrew. There are risks. Yeah, but you'll be fine. You're healthy otherwise. He went back to his phone. That should have been my first clue. But I told myself he was just processing it differently, that not everyone shows emotion the same way. The 3 weeks before surgery were hell. Pre-op appointments, meeting with the cardiac team, signing paperwork that basically said, yes, I understand I might die on the table. Andrew came to exactly one appointment, the first one, and spent most of it on his phone. When the doctor asked if he had any questions, he said, "How long is recovery? We have a trip planned in 2 months." The trip, right. A guy's trip to Miami he'd been planning with his friends. I'd already told him I probably wouldn't be recovered enough for him to go. I'd need help around the house, wouldn't be able to drive, might still be weak. He nodded and said, "We'll see," in a tone that meant he was going regardless. The night before surgery, I asked him to stay over. He said he couldn't. He had things to do in the morning. I didn't push it. I spent the night alone running through worst-case scenarios, updating my will on my laptop at 2 in the morning like a crazy person. Surgery was scheduled for 7 a.m. I had to be at the hospital by 5 a.m. for prep. My sister offered to take me, but I'd asked Andrew. He'd agreed, said he'd pick me up at 4:30 a.m. At 4:45, he still wasn't there. I called, no answer. Called again, no answer. At 4:55, my sister called me. "You need a ride?" I had a feeling. "Yeah, he's not here. I'm 10 minutes away." At 5:03, as I was walking out to meet my sister, Andrew texted, "OMG, so sorry. Overslept. Are you still at home?" I didn't respond. I just got in my sister's car and headed to the hospital. At 5:30, while I was in pre-op, wearing a hospital gown, getting my IV placed, trying not to think about the fact that in 90 minutes someone would be cutting open my chest, my phone buzzed. "Danielle, can you calm down? It's not a big deal. Also, don't forget to send me money for my nails. Appointment's at 2. I stared at that message for a solid minute. The nurse asked if I was okay. I said yes. I was lying. I didn't reply to Andrew. Instead, I forwarded the message to his father, Robert. I'd met him a few times. Good guy. Retired military. The kind of man who actually meant it when he asked how you were doing. I added one line. "This is what your son sent me while I'm being prepped for open heart surgery." Then I turned off my phone and focused on not dying. The surgery took 6 hours. I woke up in the ICU around 4 p.m., groggy, in pain, with tubes everywhere. My sister was there, my mom was there, my best friend Mike was there. Andrew was not. "Did anyone hear from Andrew?" I asked through the fog of anesthesia. My sister and Mike exchanged a look. "Not yet. Focus on recovering." I drifted back to sleep. I woke up again around 8 p.m. The breathing tube was out, which was a relief. I could talk, sort of. My throat was raw, but functional. My mom was still there, reading a magazine in the corner chair. "How are you feeling, honey?" "Like someone cracked open my chest," I said, which I guess they did. She smiled. "The doctor said it went perfectly. No complications. You'll be moving to a regular room tomorrow." "That's good." "Has Andrew?" My mom's face tightened. "No." "Okay." "Danielle, your friend Mike is outside. Can I send him in? He's been asking to see you." "Yeah, sure." Mike came in looking nervous like he always did around hospitals. He hated them. The fact that he was here at all meant something. "You look terrible," he said. "Thanks, appreciate it." "No, like, you look alive, which is better than the alternative, but also terrible." We talked for a few minutes about nothing. Sports, work, the nurse Mike thought was cute. Then he got serious. "So Robert called me, Andrew's dad." "Why?" "Because you forwarded him that text, and he wanted to make sure you had people here, since his son apparently forgot you exist." "What did he say?" "Just that he was sorry, that he was furious, said he'd raised him better than that, asked if you needed anything, wanted to know how the surgery went." "Did he say anything about Andrew?" "Just that he'd be handling it." I didn't know what that meant. I was too tired to care. I slept. The next day, Friday, I was moved to a regular room. Still in pain, still weak, but improving. My mom stayed most of the day. My sister visited in the evening. Mike came by twice. Andrew sent a text at 3 p.m. "Hey, heard surgery went okay. Glad you're all right. I'm at Ryan's. I'll come see you tomorrow." I didn't respond. Saturday morning, I was sitting up in bed eating terrible hospital eggs when Andrew walked in. He looked perfect. Hair styled, outfit carefully chosen, smelling faintly of cologne. "Hey, babe." He leaned down to kiss my forehead. I didn't move toward him. "How are you feeling?" he asked. "Like I had open heart surgery." "Yeah," he smiled. "It looks like they took good care of you, though. This is a nice room." "It's a hospital room." "Well, yeah, but some hospital rooms are awful. This one has a window." I just looked at him. He shifted uncomfortably. "So, I'm really sorry about the whole morning of thing. I genuinely did oversleep. I set my alarm wrong. It was an accident." "And the text?" I asked. "What text?" "The one where you told me to calm down because heart surgery wasn't a big deal. And, oh, by the way, don't forget to send nail money." He had the decency to look embarrassed. "I didn't mean it like it sounded," he said. "I was trying to keep things light, keep you from stressing out. And asking for money. I mean, you do send me money for stuff. I thought it was normal to ask." "Andrew," I said quietly, "I was lying in a hospital gown with an IV in my arm, 90 minutes away from someone cutting open my chest, and you texted me about nails." "I'm sorry, what more do you want?" "I want you to understand why that was messed up, but I don't think you do." He crossed his arms. "Is this really what you want to do right now? After surgery? You want to fight?" "I don't want to fight. I want you to leave." "Danielle." "Get out, Andrew. I'm serious." He stood there for a moment, looking like he wanted to argue. Then he grabbed his jacket. "Fine. When you're ready to be reasonable, call me." He left. I closed my eyes and tried not to feel the pain in my chest. Both kinds. That afternoon, Robert showed up. Andrew's father. He knocked on the door frame even though the door was open. "Danielle, can I come in?" "Mr. Patterson? Yeah, of course." He walked in carrying a bag from the cafeteria. "Brought you some real coffee. Hospital coffee is terrible." "Thank you." He pulled up a chair. We sat in silence for a minute while I worked on the coffee. "It was actually good." "I owe you an apology," he finally said. "For what?" "For my son. For how he's treated you. But especially for that text message. When you forwarded it to me, I couldn't believe it. I had to read it 3 times to understand he'd actually written that to you while you were heading into surgery." "Yeah, it wasn't my best moment." "You shouldn't have had to forward it to me," he said. "You should have had a partner who was there supporting you, not asking for nail money." "He overslept," I said, though I don't know why I was defending him. "Danielle, I need to be honest with you," Robert said. "That text you forwarded? I showed it to my wife. Then I showed it to Andrew's sister. Then I sat Andrew down Friday night and asked him to explain himself." "And?" "He tried to brush it off, said you were being dramatic. That surgery wasn't that dangerous, that you were overreacting." Robert shook his head slowly. "So I asked him where he was while you were in surgery." I already knew the answer. "At the salon," Robert said. "Getting the nails he asked you to pay for." I felt something cold settle in my stomach. "While I was in surgery?" I asked. "Yes," Robert said quietly. "He went to his 2 o'clock appointment. Didn't even text your sister or anyone to see how it went until around 5 p.m. I didn't say anything. What was there to say? "I told him he needed to apologize to you in person," Robert continued. "Genuinely apologize, not just show up and act like nothing happened." He agreed. "But based on the fact that you look like you just went through a fight, I'm guessing that's not what happened this morning." "He apologized," I said, "but it didn't feel real." Robert nodded. "Because it wasn't. My son has become someone I don't recognize, entitled, self-centered, thoughtless." He rubbed his hands together like he was bracing himself. "His mother and I are partly to blame. We gave him everything, never made him work for anything. But he's 29 years old. At some point, he has to take responsibility for who he is." "Mr. Patterson, I appreciate you coming here," I said. I'm not here just to apologize, he said. I'm here to tell you that whatever you decide about your relationship with my son, I support it. If you want to end it, I won't blame you. Honestly, I'd recommend it. You deserve better. That's not a normal thing for a parent to say, I said. I'm not a normal parent, Robert replied. I'm a parent watching my child treat a good woman like garbage while she's literally recovering from heart surgery. I won't support that behavior just because he's my blood. We talked for another hour about my recovery, about my job, about life. He told me about his own father, who'd had heart problems, and how terrifying that had been. When he left, he shook my hand gently. Take care of yourself, Danielle, he said. You've got people who care about you. Don't waste energy on people who don't. I was discharged on Monday. My sister took me home. Her home, actually. I was staying with her and her husband for the first week since I couldn't be alone. Andrew texted Sunday night asking where I'd be staying. I didn't respond. Tuesday, he showed up at my sister's house. Her husband, Mark, answered the door and very politely told Andrew I wasn't up for visitors. Andrew argued that he was my boyfriend and had a right to see me. Mark, who is calm to the point of unsettling, told Andrew that rights aren't how relationships work and closed the door in his face. Wednesday, Andrew's mother called me. I didn't recognize the number, so I answered. Danielle, it's Margaret. Andrew's mom. How are you recovering? I'm doing okay, Mrs. Patterson. Thank you. I wanted to apologize for my son's behavior, she said. Robert told me about the text message and about him missing your surgery. I'm mortified. It's not your fault. Maybe not, she said softly, but I raised him. Somewhere along the way, I failed to teach him basic human decency. She paused. Robert and I have talked, and we want you to know that whatever happens between you and Andrew, we still care about you. You're a good person, and you deserve better treatment. Thank you, I said. That means a lot. Are you going to break up with him? She asked. The directness caught me off guard. I think so. Yeah. Good, she said. He needs to learn that actions have consequences. Maybe losing you will teach him something. Thursday, I finally responded to Andrew. We need to talk. Can you come to my sister's house on Saturday around 2 p.m.? He responded immediately. Finally, yes. I'll be there. I love you. I didn't say it back. Saturday arrived. Andrew showed up at 2:05, looking nervous. We sat on my sister's back porch. She and Mark made themselves scarce inside the house, but I knew they were nearby if I needed backup. How are you feeling? Andrew asked. Better. Stronger every day. That's good. I'm glad. He hesitated. I've missed you. I took a breath. Andrew, I'm ending this. His face went pale. What? I'm breaking up with you. This is because of the surgery thing, isn't it? He said quickly. I already apologized for that. It's not just the surgery, I said. It's everything leading up to it. You didn't care. Not really. That's not true. You came to one pre-op appointment and spent it on your phone. You didn't stay with me the night before. You overslept and missed taking me to the hospital. And then while I was being prepped for someone to literally cut open my chest, you texted me about nails. I know that looks bad. It doesn't just look bad, I said. It is bad. And then while I was in surgery, you were at the salon. You didn't check on me until hours later. You didn't visit until 2 days after I woke up. He stared at the floor. Do you understand how alone I felt? I asked. I'm sorry, he said. I didn't realize it was such a big deal. That's the problem, I said. You didn't realize open heart surgery was a big deal. What does that say about you? About us? He started crying. Please don't do this, he said. I'll be better. I'll pay more attention. I'll be there for you. You'll be better now that you might lose me, I said. But where were you when I actually needed you? I made a mistake. You made multiple mistakes, I said, over and over. This isn't one bad moment, Andrew. This is who you are, someone who only shows up when it's convenient. That's not fair, he said through tears. Neither is asking me for nail money while I'm heading into surgery. He cried harder. What about your stuff at my place, he asked. I'll get it next week. You can box it up. Are you seriously ending a 2-year relationship over this? I'm ending a 2-year relationship because you showed me who you are when things get hard, I said, and I believe you. He left crying. I sat on the porch for a long time, feeling empty, but also relieved. It's been 2 months now. I'm fully recovered, back at work, cleared for exercise, feeling better than I have in years. The surgery fixed the valve problem, and apparently it also fixed my ability to ignore red flags. Andrew tried reaching out a few times in the first month, texts apologizing, saying he'd changed, that he understood now. I blocked his number. His sister reached out once to say Andrew was devastated and in therapy. I told her I hope therapy helped, but it didn't change anything. Robert and Margaret invited me to dinner last month. Just the 3 of us. It was surreal, but nice. Robert asked how I was healing. Margaret brought me a care package with homemade soup and recovery advice. They didn't mention Andrew except once, when Margaret said, "He's moving back in with us." The entitlement caught up to him in other areas of life, too. I didn't ask for details. I didn't need them. My sister asked me last week if I was angry about how everything went down. Not really, I said. More just grateful, in a weird way. Grateful for what? That I found out who he was before I married him, before I had kids with him. Better to learn during heart surgery recovery than during something worse. There's something worse than heart surgery? She asked. Yeah, I said. A lifetime with someone who thinks your heart surgery isn't a big deal. She didn't argue with that. I'm dating someone new now. Met him at a coffee shop, of all cliché places. He's a nurse, actually, which meant he understood immediately when I mentioned my surgery history. On our second date, I told him the whole story. Andrew, the text, the nail appointment. He was quiet for a moment, then said, "I'm really glad you're okay." Both from the surgery and from Andrew. That's when I knew he was different. Sometimes I think about that text, about whether I should have just broken up with Andrew privately instead of involving his father. But then I remember Robert's face when he visited me in the hospital, the way he apologized for his son's behavior, the way he told me I deserved better. He gave me permission to value myself. In a strange way, that text message was the best thing Andrew ever sent me because it showed me exactly who he was, and it connected me with people who actually cared. The heart surgery saved my heart. Forwarding that text saved the rest of my life.